everyone, this is going to be a short video on how to blow dry your own hair. You can also blow dry with a flat brush, but it's not really recommended for volume, which is what we're trying to get today. I also just got a haircut, so I was sort of experimenting with a new blow dry, having just cut my hair. So it was fun. I swear to God, this is like a $30 Diane hair dryer. I got it in my beauty school kit, so I'm not using anything special. It does have a decent amount of power, but you know, it's really not anything special. I would say the most important part of your blow dryer is this right here when you're trying to get volume. It's a nozzle or a concentrator. Comes right off. You can usually get these for like $5 at Sally's Beauty Supply. Same with duckbill clips, and they really keep everything like controllable as you're working across your scalp. So if you guys want to see a blow dry where you get some serious volume like what I have right here, just keep watching. So I just washed and conditioned my hair. You always want to start with towel dried hair so that it's not way too wet. I'm going to be spraying in a couple squirts of Color Fanatic by Pureology. And then I like to detangle my hair using a flat brush. I always like to add a little air to the scalp before I add some mousse. I'm using the Create Volume Foam by Culture Hair Studio, which is where I work. I like this foam because it's not too hard and it's not too soft to create volume in my fine hair. It doesn't make it crunchy, it gives me just enough hold. I start out on the scalp and then I like to pull it into the mid-shaft. And then before I start blow drying, I like to add a little bit of a serum for my ends, which is also by Pureology, just to really protect the ends of my hair from the heat. I always like to put my blow dryer on high heat and high power for the rough dry. The rough dry portion of the hair is the part where you really want to lift everything up and get in there. You're creating space within your hair. So because we put mousse in our hair, the whole point of mousse is to hold the hair wherever it dries. So you want to blow dry it up, down, and all around to create volume. Go up in the air, blow dry the hair the opposite direction that you want it to lay, and essentially you just want to keep going until everything is about 80 to 90% dry. Our hair completely rough dried and it is 80 to 90% dry. I'm just going to kind of show you what that looks like. You can tell that my hair is still a little bit damp, but it's not too damp to work with. So I begin now by sectioning the hair. I take sections that are about an inch wide so that I can work with them. Just wrap the hair around one of your fingers and secure it with a metal duckbill clip that looks like this. You can get them for like $12 or $3 at Sally's Beauty Supply. And just secure that in place. You want to work in sections that are small enough for you to manage. I like to stick with around an inch because it's half the size of the width of my brush, and I do have, even though my individual strands of hair are fine, I have very thick hair. So what I'm doing now is called sectioning the mohawk. The mohawk section is from each side of the recession in your hairline back, and I also stuck one in the crown and then one on the side of my head because I have a lot of hair there, and I'm going to be using a round brush at this point. So you pick up your round brush and you put your dryer on low power this time with high heat. And you want the nozzle to be pointing down toward the ends of your hair because that is what's going to close the cuticle and ensure that you get a little bit of smoothness in your hair. Because this is a blow dry for volume, I'm going out away from my head and not down toward the ground so that I lock some volume in at that root. When you're getting smoothness, the key is tension. So you want to keep an appropriate amount of tension in the brush. Now I've turned off my blow dryer at this point, and I like to wrap the hair around the brush, and just let it get pulled through to the bottom until it cools. That's when I finally drop it. I'm turning my head for you so that you can see the back. I do the exact same thing in the back. Once I finish a section, I shut my dryer off and just wind it around. So once you reach the actual mohawk section of your hair, you want to change the direction that you are directional drying a little bit. So you still want to keep the nozzle pointed toward the end of your hairs, as you did before. However, you want to roll that brush toward your face. And the reason you want to do this is because ultimately that hair is going to fall back. So you want to blow dry in the opposite direction that you want the hair to lay when you're creating fullness. So because it's going to fall backward, I'm going forward. My hair also falls to that side of my head, so I'm blow drying it forward and to the opposite side that it's ultimately going to lay. And if some drops out, that's totally cool. It happens to me all the time. Just pick it back up, let it roll around the brush a few times, and then drop it again with the rest of your section. When you get to the front of your hair, or the bang section, because this has been in the clip the longest and it tends to dry the fastest, before you blow it back, you're going to want to blow it forward to remove any crease marks from the hair. So because I do have something of a side bang, I'm going to blow it forward once, and then I'm going to lay my brush on the opposite side of the hair as if we were to go back, and just like I said before, I'm going to bring it to the opposite side that it's ultimately going to lay, and let the very ends curl around the brush, and then I'm going to drag it in the direction where it's going to lay. And that just gives you a really nice graceful fall. When you're finished with that, you're going to want to set your dryer to the cool setting and flip your hair over in the opposite direction so that it can fall back, and just blast those roots with cool air. This is going to lock in the volume, fully close the cuticle, and give you the longest lasting volume in your blow dry that you can possibly get. This is the finished look. I like my blow dries to be like a little bit more rock and roll, a little bit less smooth. But that being said, I have lots and lots of chemical damage in my hair. So what I love about this technique is the fact that you let it really cool around the brush as you're pulling it up and over like that, is you're keeping it smooth by keeping these little Johnnies right here moving through your hair and keeping it going, especially on the ends. When you follow through all the way and really let it heat to cool, you're closing that cuticle, sealing in your volume, and sealing a little extra smoothness on your ends for those of us whose hair is a little bit less than perfect. I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope you found it helpful, and I'll see everybody soon. Bye.